Imagine this, my dear friend. A quiet morning, a cup of something warm in your hands, and just a few steps away, the freshest lettuce, the sweetest cherry tomatoes or fragrant herbs, ready for your plate. No rush, no fuss, just pure, wholesome goodness grown right in your own space. Many of us dream of this, of reconnecting with our food, but the idea of gardening often comes with thoughts of hard labor, endless chores, and daunting complexity. We picture sprawling fields, specialized tools, and hours spent sweating under the sun. But what if I told you that growing an abundance of fresh, delicious vegetables at home doesn't have to be a monumental task? What if it could be a simple, peaceful, and truly minimal effort addition to your slow garden life? Stay with me, and I'll share how you can bring that dream to life, even if you've never touched a trowel before, all without breaking your back or your budget. Hello, my dear friends, and a very warm welcome back to Slow Garden Life. Here, we embrace the gentle rhythms of nature, find peace in tending to our small corners of the world, and discover the quiet joy of simple living, all while nurturing our budget and our spirits. Today, we're going to explore a topic that's close to my heart, and I believe to yours as well. How to cultivate a bountiful harvest of fresh vegetables right at home, not with exhaustive effort, but with intention, simplicity, and a light touch. If you're seeking to deepen your connection with the earth, enjoy healthier food, and bring more peace into your everyday, I invite you to settle in, take a deep breath, and perhaps consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. We would be so delighted to have you join our quiet, growing community. The journey to growing your own food, especially with minimal effort, truly begins not with digging, but with a shift in mindset. We often approach gardening with the idea that it needs to be perfect, that every leaf must be blemish-free, and every harvest monumental. But for a slow garden life, and for truly minimal effort, we need to release those grand expectations. Our goal isn't to become commercial farmers. It's to enjoy the process, savor the fresh taste, and feel the quiet satisfaction of nurturing life. Think of it as an exploration, a gentle dance with nature. We're not striving for a picture-perfect magazine spread, but for a living, breathing space that offers us joy, nourishment, and a connection to the cycles of the earth. Starting small, celebrating every sprouted seed, and learning from every experience. That is the true path to a joyful, low-effort garden. It's about cultivating a relationship, not just a crop. Once we free ourselves from the pressure of perfection, the world of simple, satisfying homegrown food truly opens up. The biggest hurdle for many isn't a lack of skill, but an overestimation of the work involved, or perhaps an unrealistic vision of what a successful garden looks like. A single pot of thriving basil on your windowsill is a success. A small patch of lettuce providing fresh salads for weeks is a triumph. These small victories accumulate, building confidence and deepening your connection without ever feeling overwhelming. But how do we choose the right plants to begin this peaceful journey, ensuring our efforts are truly minimal and rewarding? Now that our minds are open to the gentle approach, let's talk about our plant companions for this low-effort adventure. Choosing the right vegetables is paramount when your aim is minimal fuss and maximum reward. We're looking for the resilient, the fast-growing, the cut-and-come-again champions, and those that are less prone to complex issues. Firstly, consider the wonderful world of leafy greens. Lettuce, spinach, and arugula are absolute superstars for the minimal-effort gardener. Many varieties are incredibly forgiving, grow quickly, and offer a fantastic cut-and-come-again harvest. This means you snip off the outer leaves as you need them, and the plant continues to produce more, offering a continuous supply over weeks, even months. They thrive in partial sun and are perfect for containers, making them ideal for small spaces. Next, for a truly satisfying and quick turnaround, you simply must try radishes. From seed to harvest, these peppery delights can be ready in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. There's nothing quite like pulling a crisp, vibrant radish from the soil, knowing you nurtured it from a tiny seed in such a short time. They don't demand much space and are a fantastic confidence booster for beginners. For those who dream of fresh beans, bush beans are a fantastic choice over their pole bean cousins. Bush beans grow compactly, forming a tidy, Self-supporting plant, meaning no need for intricate trellises or supports. They produce an abundant harvest in a concentrated period, perfect for canning, freezing, or simply enjoying fresh. And who doesn't love a fresh tomato? While large slicing tomatoes can be a bit demanding, cherry tomatoes are often much more resilient and prolific. Varieties like Sun Gold or Sweet 100 seem to burst with fruit, often tolerating less than perfect conditions and thriving beautifully in large containers. Just a simple stake can keep them upright as they grow. Finally, let's not forget the power of herbs. Basil, mint, parsley, and chives are not only culinary essentials, but also incredibly easy to grow. They can brighten up any dish and often thrive with very little attention, especially when grown in pots right outside your kitchen door. Mint, in particular, is so vigorous it's best kept in its own container to prevent it from taking over. When it comes to starting these plants, a budget-conscious and minimal-effort approach often involves a mix. For leafy greens, radishes, and bush beans, starting from seed is incredibly economical and surprisingly simple. For cherry tomatoes or some herbs, buying small starter plants, transplants, from a local nursery can save you time and effort. Giving them a head start, knowing what to grow is half the battle. The other half is giving them a welcoming home. Now that we have a good idea of which delightful vegetables will be gracing our plates, let's consider where they will live. You might be surprised at just how little space you truly need to cultivate a productive, minimal-effort garden. The key is to work with what you have and embrace simplicity. For many of us, especially those with limited yard space or mobility concerns, container gardening is an absolute revelation. It offers incredible flexibility. You can move your plants to catch the best sun, protect them from harsh weather, or simply rearrange them for aesthetic pleasure. The beauty is that almost anything can become a container. Old 5-gallon buckets, drill drainage holes, fabric grow bags which are surprisingly affordable, terracotta pots, or even repurposed wooden crates. Just ensure whatever you choose has good drainage holes at the bottom to prevent waterlogging, which is a plant's silent killer. Leafy greens, radishes, bush beans, and even cherry tomatoes can absolutely thrive in containers, bringing the garden right to your doorstep, patio, or balcony. If you have a bit more space, or perhaps a small patch of grass you're willing to convert, a raised bed is another fantastic low-effort option. They offer excellent drainage, warm up faster in spring, and most importantly, they save your back from excessive bending. You can build a simple raised bed from untreated lumber or even repurpose old fence panels or cinder blocks. The beauty of a raised bed is that you create the perfect soil environment from scratch, rather than battling existing poor soil. Even if you only have a small corner of your yard, an in-ground patch can be wonderfully productive. The trick here is to focus on preparing that small area well initially, rather than trying to cultivate a large, daunting space. We'll talk more about soil in a moment. The most crucial factor for any garden space, regardless of its type, is sunlight. Most vegetables, particularly our chosen easy growers, need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day to truly flourish. Spend a day observing your potential garden spots. Where does the sun hit in the morning, at midday, and in the late afternoon? This observation is an essential yet surprisingly simple step that can make all the difference to your gardening success. And here's a wonderful budget-friendly tip. Don't feel you need to buy expensive matching pots. Repurpose, reuse, and embrace the charmingly eclectic look of a garden grown with love and resourcefulness. Once our plants have their perfect sun-drenched home, how do we give them the best start without overthinking the very foundation of life? The soil. And the plants take care of themselves. And truly, for a minimal-effort garden, focusing on soil health is one of the most impactful things you can do. Healthy soil means healthy plants, which are more resilient, less prone to pests, and more productive, all with less intervention from you. For our container gardens, the absolute best foundation is a high-quality potting mix. Please, my friends, resist the urge to just scoop up soil from your yard. Garden soil is too dense for containers, can compact easily, and often harbors pests or diseases. Potting mix, on the other hand, is specifically formulated to be light, airy, and to retain moisture while still allowing for good drainage, precisely what container-grown plants need. While it might seem like an initial expense, it's an investment that truly pays off in plant vigor and your peace of mind. For raised beds or small in-ground patches, The magic word is compost. Compost is decomposed organic matter, and it is truly nature's miracle worker. It improves soil structure, enhances drainage, increases water retention, and provides a slow, steady release of nutrients, effectively acting as a gentle, long-lasting fertilizer. You don't need fancy chemical fertilizers, especially when you have good compost. And here's a budget-friendly and incredibly satisfying secret. You can easily make your own compost. A simple pile in a corner of your yard, or even a basic compost bin, can transform kitchen scraps, vegetable and fruit peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, and yard waste, leaves, grass clippings, into black gold. Even simpler, you can try trench composting, digging a small trench between your garden rows, and burying your kitchen scraps directly. The soil microbes and earthworms will do the work for you, enriching your garden patch from within. Don't feel overwhelmed by the science of soil. For our purposes, the main takeaway is, for containers, use good potting mix. For beds, regularly mix in generous amounts of compost. This simple step will lay such a strong foundation that your plants will thank you with their health and vigor, minimizing your future effort. With healthy soil beneath them, what's the next most vital element to ensure our plants thrive without constant fuss? Beyond sunlight and soil, the next most critical element for a flourishing, low-effort vegetable garden is proper watering. It's also, paradoxically, one of the easiest areas where beginners, and even experienced gardeners, can go wrong, either by overwatering or underwatering. The good news is, with a few simple habits, you can water wisely, not constantly. The golden rule for watering is to feel the soil. Stick your finger about an inch or two into the soil near your plant. If it feels dry, it's time to water. If it still feels moist, hold off. This simple act of observation is far more effective than sticking to a rigid schedule, as watering needs vary greatly depending on the weather, the plant size, and the type of container. When you do water deeply and thoroughly. This encourages the roots to grow deeper, making the plant more resilient and less susceptible to drying out quickly. A gentle, slow soak is always better than a quick splash on the surface. Watering in the morning is generally best, as it gives the plants time to absorb the water before the heat of the day and allows foliage to dry, which helps prevent fungal diseases. Now for a truly remarkable effort saver and budget-friendly champion, mulch. Mulching is simply covering the surface of your soil with a layer of organic material like straw, shredded leaves, wood chips, or even grass clippings, though be careful not to use grass treated with herbicides. The benefits are manifold. Mulch significantly reduces water evaporation, meaning you'll water less frequently. It suppresses weeds, saving you countless hours of weeding. It moderates soil temperature, keeping roots cool in summer and warm in cooler weather. And as it slowly breaks down, it adds valuable organic matter to your soil. A layer of straw around your bush beans or tomatoes is a fantastic example of a low-cost, high-impact mulching strategy. For the budget-conscious, collecting rainwater in simple rain barrels, even just large clean buckets, can provide free, chlorine-free water for your plants. And for a DIY, minimal effort drip system, you can poke small holes in the bottom of an old plastic water bottle, fill it, and invert it into the soil next to a thirsty plant. It will slowly release water directly to the roots. Watering wisely, supported by the magic of mulch, truly minimizes your daily chores and maximizes your plant's health. But even with the best care, sometimes uninvited guests show up. How do we deal with them gently, without resorting to harsh chemicals or endless battles? I hope you're finding these tips helpful in envisioning your own peaceful, productive garden. If you are, a gentle like on this video would truly brighten my day, and perhaps a comment sharing your favorite easy-to-grow vegetable would be wonderful. It helps our quiet community connect and grow, and I love hearing about your gardening journeys. Even in the most meticulously planned, minimal-effort garden, some unexpected visitors are bound to appear. When we talk about keeping pests at bay with minimal effort, the first principle is acceptance. A perfectly sterile garden is often an unhappy one, devoid of beneficial insects and the natural balance that keeps things healthy. Our aim isn't eradication, but gentle management and encouraging harmony. The single most effective, low-effort pest strategy is observation. Spend a few quiet moments each day simply looking at your plants. Notice any chewed leaves, any tiny creatures, or any changes in color. Catching a problem early means it's usually much easier to address. A few slugs can be hand-picked in the cool of the evening. An entire infestation is much harder. For truly minimal effort, embrace companion planting with simple, well-known pairings. Marigolds, for example, are beautiful and are known to deter nematodes and some other pests. When planted near vegetables, nasturtiums can act as a trap crop, attracting aphids away from your prized plants. These beautiful additions serve a dual purpose, adding both beauty and protection to your garden. For larger pests, simple physical barriers can be very effective. Lightweight row covers, like spun-bond polypropylene, can protect young leafy greens from cabbage moths or flea beetles, especially during their vulnerable early stages. A simple fence can deter larger critters if they are an issue in your area. And finally, for those moments when an issue seems to be getting out of hand, turn to gentle, organic solutions. A simple spray of soapy water can deter aphids, while neem oil, derived from a tree, can disrupt the life cycle of many common garden pests without harming beneficial insects, if used correctly. Remember, we're aiming for balance, not battle. Encouraging beneficial insects like ladybugs, who feast on aphids, by providing diverse flowering plants, is a wonderful, natural way to keep your garden in check. With patience and a watchful eye, you'll find that most pest issues resolve themselves or can be managed with very little fuss. And then we arrive at the most rewarding part of our journey. The harvest! This, my friends, is the sweet reward. The quiet celebration of all your minimal efforts. The joy of bringing fresh, vibrant produce from your garden to your table is unparalleled. And the good news is, harvesting can also be a simple, peaceful, and continuous process. Many of the easy-to-grow vegetables we discussed earlier are perfect for a cut-and-come-again approach. This means you don't harvest the entire plant at once, but rather take what you need, allowing the plant to continue producing. For lettuce and spinach, simply snip off the outer leaves, leaving the inner ones to grow. For herbs like basil or parsley, pinch off stems or individual leaves. This method extends your harvest over weeks, even months, providing a steady supply of fresh greens without having to replant constantly. It's truly a gift that keeps on giving, and it's a testament to the resilience of nature. For vegetables like bush beans or cherry tomatoes, it's often best to harvest them frequently. Don't wait until they are all perfectly ripe. Regular picking encourages the plant to produce even more fruit. A small bowl of fresh beans, or a handful of warm cherry tomatoes from the vine each day, is often more enjoyable and less overwhelming than a massive one-time harvest. This way, you're always enjoying the freshest produce, and your plants remain productive. There's a beautiful rhythm to harvesting. It's a mindful act, a moment to truly appreciate the connection between your gentle care and the bounty of the earth. It's the taste of sunshine, the scent of fresh soil, and the quiet satisfaction of self-sufficiency. This simple act closes the loop, bringing the fruits of your slow garden life directly to your nourishment. Before we conclude our quiet journey today, I have one final simple insight that can truly transform your gardening experience from a task into a profound source of peace and connection. We've talked about choosing the right plants, setting up simple spaces, nurturing the soil, watering wisely, and gently managing pests. All these practical steps contribute to a minimal-effort garden, but the most profound, truly effortless, and yet incredibly powerful bonus tip I can offer you is this: the power of observation and patience. The true secret to a thriving, low-stress garden isn't a complex technique or an expensive tool. It's learning to listen to your garden. It's about spending a few quiet moments each day, not necessarily doing anything, but simply observing. Watch the leaves. Are they perky or a little droopy? Observe the soil. Does it look dry, or does it still hold moisture? Notice the tiny insects. Are they beneficial visitors, or perhaps a sign of something needing your gentle attention? This mindful presence allows your garden to teach you what it needs. You'll learn its rhythms, its preferences, and its subtle language. When you observe daily, you catch potential issues when they are tiny, easily managed whispers, not roaring problems. You learn to trust your intuition rather than constantly second-guessing or relying on rigid rules. This approach inherently reduces effort in the long run. You're not rushing in with a quick fix or overreacting to every little change. Instead, you're responding thoughtfully and gently to what your plants genuinely communicate. It cultivates patience, deepens your connection, and transforms gardening from a series of tasks into a peaceful, ongoing dialogue with nature. It is the very essence of slow garden life. And so, my dear friends, we come to the close of our quiet exploration. I truly hope this journey has opened your eyes and your heart to the beautiful simplicity of growing fresh vegetables at home with minimal effort and maximum joy. Remember, it doesn't have to be hard, complicated, or expensive. Start small, be gentle with yourself, and embrace the wisdom that comes from simply observing and nurturing. The peace, the nourishment, and the profound connection to nature that you'll discover through this simple act are gifts that will enrich your life far beyond the produce on your plate. So take that first step, plant that first seed, or set out that first small plant. Your slow garden life awaits. If you've enjoyed our time together today and found inspiration in these ideas, please do consider joining our community by subscribing to Slow Garden Life. We'd be so grateful to have you with us on this journey of quiet discovery. Until next time, take care, tend to your quiet spaces, and find joy in the slow, gentle rhythm of life. Goodbye for